Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cody Bowers, and welcome back to the Mid South Wrestling Center podcast. I know it's been a few weeks since I've been on here, and I'm so sorry about that, but I just had some work stuff going on. Today, we have a very special guest, Mr. Tommy Toogood. Let's bring Mr. Tommy Toogood on to the stage. How's it going, brother?
Hey Cody, how's it going, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you. How's everything been going?
Oh man, been busy on the scene.
Yeah, I completely understand that. Like I said, me and you've been talking, a little bit before we started this. Like I said, just let the good people at home know that Friday, May 9th, Pro Wrestling Mid South proudly presents Tiptonville Takeover at the old National Guard Armory Building in Tiptonville, Tennessee. I think it's going to be a good night. It's 3 years in the making. I've been trying to get this venue for 3 years. Kind of glad that we finally got that. But let's get into your stuff. So usually the first question I usually always ask guests is because this podcast is about beginning to what you're up to now. So let's get started with what got you into professional wrestling?
Well, like many others, watched it as a kid, idolized it. It was something, my father has since passed, but something me and my father enjoyed together. It's something we shared. Um, Man, I always wanted to do it, and grew up here in Phillips County, and there was in my early 20s there was a wrestling promotion uh, called GCW, not the one on TV. It was Genuine Championship Wrestling. It was homegrown here, and I kind of got to dip my toe in the water there. um, Went up for like 2 weeks and trained with Charlie Parks and all them for a little bit. uh Ended up breaking, killing my foot doing a show one time, and I got out of it for years. Um, and then, rough, I'm guessing 6 years ago now, 5 years ago, a friend of mine, Ricky Kennedy, called me up and uh, he asked what I was doing. And I told him, I said, hey, man, I'm actually coming to your show at the Civic Center. And he, uh, he gave me the proposal of working, and I was like, well, what do you need? I mean, I can referee. Keep in mind, I hadn't done it in, I know, probably 10 years or better. uh,
Yeah.
I said, what do you need? I mean, I can referee, I can announce what you need. And he wanted too good. And after, long story short, after all the smoke cleared and the show was done, he come and asked me how I liked it, being back. I said, man, it feels really good. He said, well, um, think about buying that ring, which he did buy that ring that night. I said, man, you buy that ring, get it set up somewhere. I'll work for you anytime you want me to. Um, he brought me in. He trained under Bill Dundee. He's since partnered up with, uh, Buck Skinner, and
Yeah.
and Buck was trained by the Hall of Famer Johnny Rods. So
Okay.
they they started training there at Mariana at the dojo, and I came in. I went through their rigorous training. Me and Austin and Smitty and few names on the scene now. Uh,
Yeah.
so, and it's just hard to believe that that was, like I said, got to be 6 7 years.
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so I've been at it. I've went from, I'm always learning, you know, and I've gotten to venture out. I've been there with you guys at Mid South a few times. Smitty and I, before he passed, we ran the Wrecking Crew tag team there.
Yeah.
Um, man, I've it's hard. It's started hard to name a couple. haven't worked for around at least in a
Yeah.
3-4 hour driving distance.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but man, I and now I've started with Too Legit Jeff Daniels. We run
Hmm.
a very successful test, if I say so myself. Legitimately too
Yeah.
good. We've held 3 or 4 different titles for different companies. We're 2-time champions. Um, man, it's just been a crazy ride. I keep learning. I keep going to new places. I've got places that I haven't checked off yet, but that are definitely on my radar. Uh, and man, if anybody reaches out to me, unless I already have something, I try to make it, even if it's the first time. Um, I forget the gentleman's name, but he reached out uh, roughly about a week ago, and he said April 5th. Well, it was a new company. I looked at my calendar. I'm at APW April 5th at in West Memphis, Arkansas. I couldn't do it, but I mean, I'm all about working with new companies and finding, you know, people. I'm always ready to learn. When I went up work for Greg, we'd come up early enough, and sometimes he'd be working with some of his guys, and you know, we would we would get in there and roll with them and work with them, and take some more training there too. So I mean, I can't take that away either. You know,
Yeah.
I learned from Greg too.
Oh yeah. 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 So, about what year did you first was your first match?
um, my first, well, I really my first match, I would say, would probably be at the National Guard Armory here. Um, and that was 2007, 8, somewhere like that. And
Okay.
then that was after the training and stuff. And um, but I really, like I said, I really like to date everything back to APW, because I feel
Yeah.
like that's when I really, I say GC. In all respect to CEO, he's the one helped me break in. He's no longer with us, um, but I feel like all my professionalism and former training. There's my actual training was when Buster and Steph trained. Uh, 2007, unless we're counting. Uh, I'm horrible with dates, man. Whenever APW fired up and we did the Battle Bowl, so that was roughly 6, maybe 7 years ago now. Fine, man.
Yeah. 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 Most definitely. Most definitely. And yeah. Yeah. I like I've talked to a bunch of other guys in the business on the podcast so far, and it's like everybody says with the whole learning thing is if you're not still learning, then you don't need to be in the business.
Absolutely, I believe in that with everything in me, man.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I'm always, like I said, that when I go to new places, that's what I do. I really like to sit and listen to everybody talk, and then listen. If especially if I get there early enough, and there, there's people loosening up and warming up, I'll go out there and I'll watch and I'll listen. And I mean, that's the best way I've been able to learn.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
train, you know.
So, I guess the next topic we're going to get into is, like you said, you. I would pretty much call you a tag team specialist at this point.
Yes,
I
sir.
would say I would pretty much say that.
Yeah,
What was it? And I know this. God rest his soul. He, I remember this kind of day. It was on Halloween. I was sitting at the Herb Welch Wrestleplex. We're about to give away candy to the kids and stuff like that. And it went across the airways about Smitty passing away.
yeah,
And but what was it about you two? What was it about Smitty? What was Smitty's take on you? The reason why you guys
We were
connected with each other?
we were both competitive at the start. I mean,
Yeah.
when we were singles, we were competitive, and for some reason, in his big old brain, he thought I was just like I had it and he wanted it, you know.
Yeah.
And uh, I I always felt like he was the bigger guy of us two. He definitely had the bigger and better look. It was just complimentary because whenever he would do something or I would do, one of us would be like, okay, yeah, I'll do that, and then this, and then it was like no matter what we just he anything anything you ask me in the history of wrestling, he know, but it expanded more, than just wrestling. He knew a lot. He was a historian when it come to it, and
Yeah.
dude, that baffled me. He was so good at so much, and it was just a chemistry, a bond we had because we come up training together. Like I said, at first it was a competitive edge for each other.
Yeah.
And our mindsets are like he was told he would never wrestle. Now let that sink in. He would never. He um, he had broke his neck twice, and um, he was athletic. He was told he wouldn't wrestle. He wanted to prove everybody wrong, and
Yeah.
that's kind of like me. I keep that same chip on my shoulder. If you want to see me do something, tell me I can. And it's
Yeah.
like now, keep in mind, I keep it in a certain circumstance. You're not going to tell me I can't jump off a bridge and me go jump off a bridge. But what I'm saying is, you can't tell me I can't do something in life and expect me not to. It's you put an obstacle in my way. Now I've got to overcome it. I've got to prove you wrong. I've got to show that I know what I'm capable of doing. You know, and we responded the same to that kind of. And like I said, I had two left feet. It was hard for me to get adjusted, um, and we both had to overcome, but we did, and it just got us closer. We traveled together. Uh, Mike Reels, we started traveling towards San Antonio, Mississippi. We were working a show with him, and he saw us. And of course, Ricky always said, "Look, together, Ricky Kennedy," and uh, we were all in this faction, the Wrecking Crew, and everybody in Mid South Pro Wrestling knew it as a tag team. Me and Smitty was Smitty, Too Legit, tag partner now, Mike Reels, uh, Big Red, and uh, it was an actual faction when it was
Yeah.
home, but it was unique because um, we all didn't work for the same companies. We worked for Redeemed and a lot of W, um, but we all like Smitty and I. We traveled to Mid South Pro Wrestling, traveled to Hope, Arkansas. We traveled to different parts of Tennessee, and we all collectively they agreed to let us use the Wrecking Crew name. So uh, it was by design. Like I said, Ricky knew we looked good as a tag team, and uh, I, partly happenstance. We both were put back together. It was still faction, of course. Uh, but he's like, dude, you go out there, you run off, and I'll back it up, and it works smooth. It's a tell Otis was the shorter guy runs his mouth, and then the big guy backs up everything he's saying. You know, so
Oh yeah.
I'd make him real mad, and he would beat him up. You know.
Yeah. That's how it works. Um, yeah, I think we've I told you this before, but yeah, I actually met Mike Reels. I think it was I first got into the business. I think it was back 2014, 2015. He was coming up to Ripley, Tennessee a lot, working for Rashard Devon. I started with Rashard Devon in RCW Pro Wrestling, and I was like the last guy still standing with the company whenever they went out of business. And then finally, whenever Greg took over, I started with Greg Anthony
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But you mentioned two legit Justin Daniels.
Oh yeah.
How you said he was a part of the faction,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But how was the dynamic going into you tagged with Smitty for this amount of time, but then like we said, sadly, Smitty did pass away. Now you're doing this new tag team, the whole new kind of aspect, I guess you have to say.
Well, yeah, it's different because where Smitty and I we were heel, you know, we were bad guys, and
Yeah.
we, Justin and I we have an attitude change. You know, we're for the people, and it we were actually tagging before Smitty had passed. Smitty
Okay.
was on singles run, and if you remember correctly, he had held the APW World. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
he he kind of he was like, you know, one day it'll be up again, you know. But he was like I said, he was all about, hey, we've held the titles, I've won this. Let me move to the next stage and keep growing. And he was, man, people, you know, he was like a magnet to people, and people come to watch him. People loved him. Um, I loved him, and it wasn't nothing but respect it, that he wanted to kind of do his own deal, you know. And I understood. Uh, he kind of worded it like he was holding me back, which I can't understand that to this day. But um, I, like I said, with Justin and I, we had been on both ends of the spectrum together. We had when I when I first got over there in the San Antonio area, before we were all in the faction, Justin was the first guy I faced the first. Um, and you know, if you can't beat them, join them. You know how it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
uh, he would have a title. I would get the title off him. He would take the title back and forth. We were both evenly, you know, and when we finally set everything aside, we were in the faction together. Hey man, you know, this could be something big. So when Smitty decided, hey, I'm going to do this singles thing for a little bit, cool. Uh, I did a singles run where I had a workhorse title, and I've held the mid American title or American Hostile. I've held titles. I felt like, you know, I've done the singles thing, and I do it
Yeah.
again. But legit now, we've always been close since that. Uh, Me, him, and Smitty, and like Mike Reels, uh, we've all been kind of close since the Wrecking Crew days. So
Yeah.
it's just it was just time. It was easy. It was something um, we both had ambition to where, hey, let's get out and let's do this. and there's not. If you look at all the divisions and especially on the independent scene, there isn't a whole lot of tag teams. So, um, I mean, there are, but there aren't.
Yeah.
You start naming them, you're like, yeah, tag team, but it's a. I feel like it's almost a fading division within independent wrestling. Me, I don't mind. I enjoy. I joke around like it's half the work, but man, it's a lot. Um, and staying on the same page is easy with him. If you tag with somebody, your schedule's got to match up. Both got to be available for all the same days, and and when one does, it's not like if you're a tag competitor, hey, uh, you know, I can show up, but the tag part, he's got to work or he other show he's going to do. So it just worked out great, and like I said, legit now we have been 5-6 years now. I mean, he's been in my home. I've been in his home. Our kids are all close, just like Smitty and I were. And I don't think I would have ran another tag team, honestly, um, if it wouldn't have happened the way it did. Uh, it happened before Smitty. He was doing his singles run, and he pretty much, like he was good with it. So, and because he was a brother to me, he was to Justin. And funny thing is, uh, him and him and had a little where they tagged, and they called just itty bitty Smitty because shorter Smitty. So, uh, so there was always that, and they've had some stories together. When they were going after the APW tag title, uh, man, you look back and you smile. Uh, like I said, I don't think if it wasn't for Justin, it would be anybody else. I would either be doing this single, and to be completely honest, I may not even be doing it at all. You see,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it to death. I love the way they receive me and Justin. Uh, but that was a hard blow, and Justin was there. I mean, we were already tagging. Uh, you know, he reached out. We stay in conversation um, throughout that whole period. He's like, "Hey, man, uh, somebody, you know." Uh, Believe it or not, at that time, all of APW kind of had each other, but outside of APW, um, very few people kind of called. Everybody's their condolences, but there were certain like Johnny Dotson immediately. Uh, he's like, my doors, which I'm back there, and as you
Yeah.
know, legit now are the Bluff City Tag Team Champions. So
Okay.
for Johnny Dotson. So
Yeah.
it it that whole time in October it changed a whole lot with me. But uh, back to me and legit, we've been close because we've been so much already.
Yeah.
So it was natural.
Oh yeah. And kind of like what you're going back, and this isn't towards anybody specific or anything like that, but tag teams nowadays, there's so many guys, new generation guys, new young guys. I think the reason why you don't see as many tag teams anymore is ego is a big part of it.
Yes, and that's
Yeah,
what I'm getting at. I mean, I kind of went a long way around it, uh, but that's what I meant by I don't mind
yeah,
tag. Because like you said, there's like a lot of the younger guys. They want all the attention, and they worked hard, and they hate take it
yeah,
away from anybody. If you're a singles competitor doing your thing,
mhm,
I mean, and that's how you know good to have that sense of confidence. You
yeah,
know, I
yeah,
wouldn't want to go in an arena, in a crowd, in a venue, like, well, it's all right if I do okay, or no, I'm there because I'm the best, and I want to work the best. You know, but it's so hard for, like you said, the younger generation to share the spotlight and do. And if you're in a tag team, you should do things that complement each other as well as yourself. Instead of, I'm going to hop up here and do this half gainer 450 and then tag you in to see if you can top that move. Now, let's, you know, let's do a move where we both, you know, and
yeah,
that's hard to, because if I could do a 450 half gainer, why wouldn't I do it? But
yeah.
I, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a little old school. If you see me up at the top rope, we're both in trouble.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know that all about that old school, you know. You see who I work for.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with being old school nowadays. A lot of like I said, you know, a lot of the younger guys that are just now coming into the business, they don't they it's so hard to give them advice and actually them run with it. But yeah,
And that's
it's
a generational thing too, because I have kids, and
Mhm.
it's harder because they know everything already, and that's just the
Yeah,
way the generation of the wrestlers are. It's they yeah I've that or I've seen that or I've been there. I've been trained so and so, or you know me personally, I never knock anybody because I don't care if it's Cody Rhodes or uh, the next independent guy to me asking me what I think about something, or hey, could you do this? This I don't care. I'll listen and I'll be respectful.
yeah,
But you don't always get that. That you get that kind of, oh, they're just censor me or hold me back type.
yeah, yeah. Well, next subject I guess we'll get into is gotta gotta tell us more. We've kind of went over APW a little bit, but tell us more about APW Pro Wrestling. I know it kind of seems to be your main company.
Oh, it is. It by far it's my home company. Now, like
Yeah,
I said, I've been to Mid South Premier Pro. I've been to American High Style, Bluff City, AWA. I've been all over. I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch, and no disrespect to any of the companies. I've enjoyed it, worked for, but I'm always clear before I take a booking. I'll be there unless I'm booked. Unless I have a I'll do whatever I can, but APW is home. It's where it's where I come out at. It's where I'll always forever be loyal to. Um, Somebody asked, uh, what's Ricky like, and tell him, he's a great guy and he's a trustworthy guy. I trust him to the point I've said it 1,000 times. The man can say, "Good, I want you to go out there in banana hammock and lose 15 matches." Okay, I'm going to go do it. I don't know why I'm going to go do it, but it's probably going to sell some tickets and it's going to pay off something at the end, and it's going to be good for business because he wouldn't tell me anything. He's really really intelligent, to that, and we have, and it's not just me saying that. You see it within APW. I know you keep a kind of close eye on everything going on, so you know we've been to Jacksonville. We had 300 plus people. Uh, we've started just now. We're going to go back to Jacksonville. We go to Cherry Valley. We man, we're at West. Uh, we've got a real good relationship with the Boys and Girls Club. We do 2 shows a year there. So it was born and bred, but that's not where it is anymore because we're subject to go any and everywhere. Because he is a business man in every word, and he knows everybody. It seems like no matter where you go, anywhere, there's gonna be somebody that knows Ricky King. And I guess APW has continued to grow that, and we focus on the small things, you know, some of the small things and let the big things take care of themselves. So we're training twice a week. We're not training for movement. We're training to get better, and um, between what him and Buck Skinner had, the respectfulness, unfold the chair, shake every hand, head up, tear down, whatever, and I think that's why Smitty and I were successful. That's why me and Legit are so successful. That's why Nick, that's why she is SmackDown and on AEW. She's been, it's because we stay humble. We don't let anything just blow up that we're getting big, and it's kind of shocking to think about all the, because we literally started in a old laundromat with equipment still, you see, and now see what we're doing and where we're at. Like I said, everybody else, but how many companies Jacksonville, Arkansas, and draw 300 plus people, or West Memphis and pack out the Boys and Girls Club, or just so much, and there's so much more out there. It's crazy how it all started to where we are now. And it's just the way we're brought up, and it takes, like, I go to companies in locker room, and there's guys that a couple of guys train together with this person, that person. APW is like a family. It really is. When Smitty was gone, we all mourned forever, and called each other, checked on each other. It's and every time something big happens, when Buck did the New Japan, Deja was on Raw when AEW. We all supported that. We all, were happy, and it wasn't, what have you done for me lately? It was great. Keep pushing, keep going. It's that support that we all with each other that makes APW and we've had people come in fully gifted for one, a tag team. They've come in and it's like family coming in now because they've with us so much. The Twins of Salem, they've come in. Uh, they're real close. It's just and they'll tell you because where me, Nix, all of us were born and bred APW. These guys come in later, reels later, but at the same time, once you've been there, it's like there's not too many locker rooms like you know what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
we we care about each other. We want. I don't just worry about me looking good. I want you to look. I want this match to kill the show. I want you know what I'm saying. That's the way it is. It's wonderful. It's hard to
Yeah.
find.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've worked for Pro Wrestling Mid South. Well, when I first started, it was NWA Mid South. For about over 8 years now, and it's sometimes people come, sometimes people go. Stuff like that. But I think in at least the last 5 years of the company, it's been nothing but one big family.
Yeah, and you know how rare that is. I mean, and
Yeah.
like Buck, he lives in Texas now, but he's been at the past two APW shows. Nix has been all over TV, you know.
Mhm.
Uh, but she's right now she's currently the APW workhorse. So no matter how far we get,
Yeah.
we still come back home to APW. You know, I mean, and it's just a testament of us being family.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Well, brother, we're about 40 minutes into this, and I really hate to cut this off, but I forgot I have a dinner reservation with my wife.
Oh, well, you can't miss that now.
Yeah. But I'll definitely reach back out to you. We got to get a part two in. I know this is a little shorter than what I usually do for these, but yeah, like you said, I can't miss that dinner reservation. But
I,
yeah. But man, I really appreciate you coming on. I know we kind of started a little bit later than our 2 o'clock. Like I said, I during tax time I bought this new laptop, and I'm still getting the hang of getting everything set up on it and stuff like that. But brother, it's just you know maybe next time I see you in Pro Wrestling Mid South, legitimately too good could maybe come
hey,
up there, so our tag division a little something something.
man, that sounds good to me, man. And I appreciate you having me on. I really do. I appreciate it, man. Anybody that takes the time to want to talk to me, man, I, I just never have enough words to say thank you.
Well, before we get off here, like I always like to do with the guests, kind of tell the people what you got going on now, what they can see from you in the future, and how can they reach out to you.
Well, I'm Tommy Too Good on Instagram. I have TikTok, Facebook, email tommytoogood@gmail.com. Um, you can reach me on any of those platforms. You can come see me. I think my next place I'm at is I'm in Brown, Tennessee at PKU. Um, I'll be uh, Bluff City and Somerville 29th. I'll be in West Memphis, Arkansas with All Pro Wrestling. I'm sure I'm missing about 3 or 4 because these are Friday and or Saturday. A lot of times we work both. So
Yeah.
there's just a few you can catch me at, and anybody wants to reach out and work with me, I'm willing. Just hit me up on email or Facebook page or Instagram or however whatever's convenient for you.
All right then. Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, you have a good rest of your day, brother. I'm gonna take you off the screen, and I will definitely be in contact with you later on.
All right, sounds good.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, that was episode number 12 of Tommy Too Good. Like I said, I'm so sorry that this had to be a short one today. Like I said, I completely forgot about the dinner reservations I had with my wife. But don't forget to check out next Sunday. We'll have another special guest. I don't quite have anybody lined up right now, but I will definitely be releasing that as soon as I got some people in the inbox right now trying to get on. So we will definitely see everybody next Sunday.